alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Dominic Lawton can be wild. Welcome to the bad movie cult. Fucking clue what I've written down, have you?
You could have reviewed the Jackie Chan one for all I know.
What have you done?
Welcome to the Bad Movie Cult podcast, everybody. My name is Dominic Lawton. I am your host. I am joined, as always, by my co-host. Hopefully he's reviewed the correct Karate Kid film. His name is Kenneth San.
How you doing?
Today, we are going to be reviewing the 1984 Karate Kid.
If you say so.
This is it. This is the end of the line.
Telling me.
Did I tell you about the pool here?
For Daniel LaRusso,
Is this the only pool you guys got?
the future seemed far from terrific.
This place is a dump. You should go back to New Jersey.
Hey, I know it's hard, but we're not quitters, are we?
Until he met the right girl.
She's beautiful. I say she's beautiful. I think she's beautiful. Is that your address?
You got it.
But that only angered the wrong guy. And his troubles really began.
Down, push it. Now you can pay.
Then, in one man, he found a teacher
I promise teach karate.
and a friend.
Fighting always last answer. Fight train.
So I won't have to fight.
In the end, it will be in Daniel's hands. In his body. And most of all, in his mind.
Concentrate, focus, power. Remember balance. No mercy.
Columbia Pictures presents The Karate Kid.
Ken, here's a little fact for you to kick off this one.
Go for it.
Ralph Macchio was 22 years old when he made this film.
You can tell. Just from his voice. The first thing I've written down is his voice is not that of a teenage boy.
No, but his body is.
Yeah, which is weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But I also looked up how old he was. So thank you for confirming what I've written down.
Yeah, it might be. I bet some of the viewers are falling off their Pat Morita brand stool.
Yes. Yes. Did he do stools? Oh, hang on. No, forget that question.
So the film opens with the LaRussos. They're moving away from New Jersey. They're moving to California.
Oh, yeah.
And Danny, he's not looking forward to it.
California, here we come. Oh, come on, Daniel. What's the matter? You don't like my singing?
I don't like the song, Ma.
You're gonna love California. You get up in the morning, you roll out of bed, plop, you're in your swimming pool.
Yeah, sure.
All right, you'll see. You know, this isn't exactly a dump we're moving to, you know. Daniel. Daniel, wake up. Look off the starboard bow. Paradise at last. Oh, we made it. Come on. This is it. This is the end of the line.
You're telling me.
Yeah, they get to sort of it's a motel that's got it's kind of classic American motel where it's all surrounding a pool. It's like not even, it's like just got some rainwater in it, I
Yeah, it
think.
turns out that was a disappointment for them as well.
Yeah, he kicks the door. He knows some karate. And he kicks the door and hits it straight in the face of some lad.
Yeah, who's over the moon.
He's
very,
delighted.
very happy that that's happened. He's now got a new friend.
He invites him to a beach party.
In fact, he's so happy, and that friendship is so long-lasting that they don't really bother speaking to each other again for the entire film.
No.
That's pretty much the only time they pretend they're friends.
Once he's invited to the beach party, he doesn't need him anymore.
Yeah, it's also they took with them a wash basket. His mom carries in a wash basket. It's like a little rubber, plasticky sort of wash basket. It's like, well, could you not just have bought another one when you got there? Why are you filling up the room in the car with that? That just irritated me. So just get another one. Leave that behind, get another one. It's just a wash basket. It's like it's going to break the bank.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. I was annoyed by it. I'll tell you what
I
about
have a
this
vision
film.
of
Right?
you. I was you writing this down really angry.
I just wrote fucking wash basket. I'll tell you what about this film, right? I enjoyed The Karate Kid a lot more before I watched it again.
Yeah.
That's my statement on this film. Before I watched it again today, I enjoyed this film more.
Yeah.
So from the past, my nostalgic memories of this film were a lot fonder than watching it again now.
Yeah.
Now it just kind of pisses me off. Lots of things in this film annoyed me.
Yeah, because I remember we were sort of throwing around. We wanted to do something that was sort of a kid, like, because we've done a lot of horror, we've done a lot of action. We wanted to do something that's kind of like a nostalgic kids film from our past, and we decided on The Karate Kid with both fond memories of it. And I think we've both come to the same conclusion.
Yeah,
having
it's
watched
kind
it
of
again.
annoying.
Yeah. The tap's broken in the place they're living at.
Yeah.
And so Danny, he goes to find the maintenance guy, who turns out to be Pat Morita himself.
Yeah, it's just some Japanese guy wearing a Japanese headband.
Mr. Miyagi.
Which they often do.
He's catching flies with some chopsticks. Or
He's certainly having
attempting
a go.
to.
He's certainly having a go, isn't he? He's also got a couple of bonsai trees as well. He's still doing a bit of that. You know, couldn't be more stereotypical Japanese character, really.
Yeah, and Danny LaRusso asks him to fix something, and Miyagi gives him a little look, and he ends up stepping out of the room. That's how intense the look is.
Yeah, it's because he wasn't invited in, of course. You just walk into someone's house, do you?
And he says, "When are you going to fix it?" And he says, "After." And he says, "After what?" And he says, "After." And that's the end of the scene.
Fantastic introduction to Miyagi and his mystical bullshit.
And we get to some, which I assumed was Beach Boys music, but I'm guessing it isn't. It's just some sort
I don't know. It's supposed to be.
It's surfer
reminiscent.
rock.
It's reminiscent of Beach Boys, isn't it? It's got the close harmonies and all that rubbish.
And there's some good old-fashioned American beach soccer going on.
Oh God, I've written awful.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. You see Elizabeth Shue, that looks young as fucking this.
Well, she was also 20.
Well, she looks so young in this.
You give me ages. I've looked them up as well, you know. 1963 she was born. This was a 1984 release. So.
And Ken, if there's a surefire way of impressing a lady, it's by doing some shit kick-ups in front of her.
I actually wrote some decent football juggling or soccer ball juggling. You all right?
Sorry, yeah, just moving my microphone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it? He does some knee ups.
He does some knee. He does a couple of thighs. Got a couple on the kick. Yeah, I thought it was all right considering 1980s.
No one could do a kick up back then.
Well, who cares about proper football over in America at this time?
They probably thought, what the hell's that ball he's got?
Yeah, what's that? It's a proper generic.
It is. It's white and
black stitched football, though, isn't it? So
yeah,
I thought he'd done all right with that.
You can tell you're a parent. Very supportive of it. Yeah. Well done, Danny.
I didn't count them, but it's probably got to be at least
he did
2. He did at least 7.
They have a campfire on the beach later, and his mate, because he says he wants to. She's making eyes at him, and so he kicks the ball over and literally just lands in front of everyone. Probably would have pissed them off.
Yeah, just like splatters sand all over the stuff that they've got there.
Them cooking marshmallows, sand all over them, and he goes to get it, and she asks him, "How do you juggle?" For the kick-ups, and he says, "Oh, it's easy. I start with the knee."
Yeah. That's exactly how you do start. Yeah, you say a parent. That's exactly how I taught my son how to do that.
He starts by doing one knee, one knee catch,
then 2.
one knee catch, and then 2.
Yeah.
He breaks it down that way.
That's how you teach a child.
I think she actually does more than him.
She's all right. Actually,
She's
as well.
actually I thought that.
You see, you're mocking it, but that's okay as well.
I'm not mocking her. I thought she was pretty good. And out of nowhere, this beach party is ruined by the cool kids.
To be honest, it's not. It's not ruined. They turn up and they have a good chat. We meet Johnny. Johnny's very
Lawrence.
positive. He's very positive about his future. He said he's going to turn it around, make changes, and it's got all looking bright for him. And then it's one of his friends that says, "Oh yeah, we'll check that out," and ruins Johnny's life, really. because he's full of positive vibes, and it's not Johnny's fault.
It all hinges on that moment.
Yeah.
When it goes to
about 7 minutes into the film, but...
when it goes to Cobra Kai, the TV show, the first flashback you see in that show is the end of this film. It should have been his friend pointing out Danny LaRusso in the first place.
He says it's all new. In 24 hours, I'm a senior, and it's all going to change.
Yeah,
and then he says, "Yeah, well, check that out," and it's like, what the hell is going on? And it's just ruined. It's just like ripped to pieces. Poor Johnny.
I like Johnny's red leather jacket that he's got going on, and the black bandana.
I like the fact that Johnny's got the Cobra Kai motif stitched in every item of clothing he owns.
He does this on the leather jacket.
He's got it
it's
everywhere.
On his skull fucking
He's
bag.
got it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he sees that Danny LaRusso's doing some kick-ups with his girl.
Yeah, or his ex.
Well, still his girl in his mind.
Yeah, well, yeah, because guys don't move on. I've discussed this before. We're fragile. We're delicate.
Ali, Elizabeth Shue's character is called Ali. She just kicks the ball away.
Yeah,
I think she's had enough.
What the hell is she doing? She just inexplicably just boots it as far away from herself as possible.
She looks like she's had enough of that.
Yeah, but yeah,
and Danny runs
I wrote
after
that
it.
down. What the hell is she doing?
Yeah.
She's ruined the moment as well.
We get to the first glimpse of the soundtrack to this film.
Mm-hmm.
When they turn up down, and Johnny's he's taken the radio. It's the soundtrack's on the radio. You see, that's how we're hearing it.
Yeah, it's a little boombox.
Yeah, and it is the classic one you'd have on your shoulder.
Yeah, Johnny just wants to talk because he says that.
Yeah,
I just want to talk. He says. I've got a bit of sympathy for him at this point. Still,
he's probably like Cobra Kai then.
Well, I know this like the big fan thing where it says that he's the victim and Danny's the bully and everything. I'm not having any of that. I'm not going that far into it. But no, at this point in time, yeah, he's still hurting from a fresh breakup. He was full of positive vibes.
Ken's getting a bit teary-eyed as we talk about this.
He was full of positive vibes. The first thing he says when he arrives is how he's looking forward to the future. Right?
Yeah.
How would you feel? You say all that in front of your friends and they just destroy it instantly. And then you ever look down and some 23-year-olds having a kickabout with your girlfriend pretending to be a child. Yeah. He's got every right to be upset. But he still maintains he just wants to talk.
He throws it to the ground, the boombox. Danny turns up.
That's because she refuses to turn it off and talk to him.
Yeah.
Which he asks her to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so she refuses that.
Danny picks it up, and Johnny shoves him to the ground. And this is where we get our first karate fight scene.
Yeah, he trips over twice.
Johnny just beats the shit out of him, pretty much.
Only after he punches Johnny in the face.
Yeah.
All he does is he trips him over. He trips Danny over, who then retaliates by punching him in the face.
Yeah.
Which is irritating, to say the least.
It is, yeah. Anyone who's been punched in the face.
Yeah, you think, oh, that was annoying.
Yeah. Even Danny's friends think he's a bit of a shit. They just leave him.
Yeah, exactly. And then Johnny punches Danny back in the face and then kicks him to the floor. And everyone just walks off and leaves him there.
Yeah, I mean, Ali goes to check on him and he's like, leave me alone, like a little kid who's hurt himself.
Yeah.
He's like, just crying, leave me alone, I'm fine.
So they do.
Are you okay?
Oh, just leave me alone.
I'll help you.
No, just leave me alone. I'm okay. Just leave me alone.
Come on now, let's go. Come on, it's better if we leave him alone. Come on. Come on. Come on now, let's go.
Yeah, and the next morning his mom sees the bruises on his eye. He's wearing sunglasses.
His mom, right? She's overly just happy, isn't she? All the way through the opening bit where they're driving, she's just quite irritatingly cheerful.
Yeah.
That's what I thought anyway. I just thought, your mum's not really like that. I mean, I know she's got a moody 23-year-old.
Who's still going high school.
For a teenage son.
How long he's been held back.
But, yeah, she just seems over the top of being cheerful all the time and just trying to make it all okay. And she does it again in the morning. He's got his sunglasses on, which she refuses to believe is because it's sunny and they're in California.
Yeah, so she sees and he, as I say, he explains it away that he fell and hit his head on his bike.
Yeah, I thought when she said, how did that happen, he could have explained it was due to a bad makeup artist because the black eye that he's got is rubbish. He's absolutely stupid. Really is.
It almost looks like, when people trick you with binoculars that they put ink around the eye lens.
Yeah, it looks nothing like he's actually been punched or kicked in the face.
Yeah.
Still, that's fine.
We get the school, and if there's a more American... I think only Grease has a more American-looking school than this.
Blue Summer is playing, isn't it, at the time? I don't know. I wrote Bananarama down. I'm not looking it up to see if it was them. Know. It sounded like it. It was just like a female song.
You got the cool kids with the motorbikes. There's more soccer.
Yeah.
We get soccer tryouts.
Some more ball skills.
Yeah. I like how some of the kids are sitting down watching him. That's how impressed they are with him.
Yeah. Well, I was sat down watching the film. And
Ali, she turns up. She's doing cheerleading tryouts or whatever. She comes over. They do ball skills together.
Again. Yeah. Like that's not caused enough trouble.
It looks like Johnny's plotting something in the background there.
Yeah, very good background scenes in this film.
Yeah, it happens again at the canteen, doesn't it? The diner.
Where the people in the foreground are unaware of the plotting.
There's a foul during the soccer tryouts.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, it's
not
more
that
of
bad a foul, really.
It's more of a Danny LaRusso who's just too quick for him.
It could just be a mistimed one. Yeah. It's probably, wouldn't
even bat an eyelid.
Might just be the ref would have a word with the assailant.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who gets tackled would just get up and carry on, really, but not Danny LaRusso. He starts fighting him. I don't know if you're supposed to be on his side here, because if anyone who's actually played football is probably on the side of the defender, because that's just a massive overreaction from our hero.
Yeah, so he gets sent off anyway, gets told to leave. That's on his first day, isn't it, of school?
Yeah, he says, this school sucks, man.
Oh, what a harsh indictment on the American education system.
We cut to him practicing his special kicks. He's reading a manual on kicks.
Yeah.
A textbook.
And he's really shit at it as well. Now, to be honest, I actually did have a book as well, a karate book, when I was growing up. And I used to also do this. But I don't know, I think maybe not just do the same kick 20 times.
Yeah.
For nothing. Really badly.
Mr. Miyagi finally gets round to fixing the tap, and he notices Danny's doing some training, and he says, you learn from book.
Yeah, mocks his book learning.
And then he asks him about his eye, and he says he fell off his bike, and then Miyagi says, look, you didn't hurt your hands. So he knows, Miyagi, he knows that he's lying.
Yeah. You have to get up pretty early in the morning. Oh, no, actually, no, Miyagi. Yeah,
you do have to get up pretty early in the morning, Miyagi's up
for school.
Yeah.
I suppose, you have to get up pretty early in the morning to go to school.
Yeah. The kids listening out there.
There's my wise words for you.
You get a nice shot of what they're having for lunch, and from what I could tell, because I always like to look at what food people are eating in scenes, he's eating some sausages and some what looks like boiled cabbage.
Oh, yes. What a beautiful diet at this school.
Yeah, Ali turns up and apologises. I mean, she apologises a lot in this.
There's a lot of apologies from everybody in this.
Yeah, she apologises for the fight he had on the soccer pitch, which I don't understand why she does. And then she also apologises for the fight on the beach, which again wasn't really her fault. He sort of waded in himself. She didn't ask him to.
That's guys though, right?
Yeah,
that's what we like.
And she tells him that her and Johnny have been split up for a few weeks, and then he doesn't understand what weeks means because he asked if it meant 1 week, which of course it wouldn't.
No, that would be we split up for a week. It'd be a different sentence that she'd said. What I do like though is that he then pretends he's talking to nobody and says it's his inner voice, and calls himself a yo-yo. He'd have to be a yo-yo. And that annoyed me. I just wrote yo-yo, so I haven't got his exact quote.
Yeah, he does that later, doesn't he?
Because he was pissing me off at this point by talking into nothing. Yeah.
He does that in the next scene, actually.
Yeah, I don't really like Daniel LaRusso in this.
Because he goes to...
I used to. Before I watched it again, I thought he was all right. I thought he was, good guy, but he's just quite annoying.
Yeah. He goes to Cobra Kai, and we meet the ball-breaking sensei and ex-army vet, John Crease.
Yeah. What a fantastic photo he's got of himself. This made me laugh.
In full camo.
Yeah, it looks like he's just in an office. Looks like he's put his uniform on. He's put makeup back on his face, and then he's stood near a plant in an office with a gun, smiling. Like, yeah, that's me in the army. That's realistic.
It's like an actor doing some photography. Oh, here's me as an army person.
Yeah. It's quite an amazing picture. And there he is anyway, yes. It's
That's brilliant, yeah.
Captain John Crease.
Captain Crease.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking mascot for a laundry detergent.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's one of my favourite characters in this. He's just ridiculous.
we see he is overly aggressive.
Yeah.
We see Johnny and he's leading the class.
Yeah, the mantra is strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah.
That's how you run your dojo.
Straight opposite to what Miyagi teaches. He goes back. He's had enough. He goes and sits with his mom in the diner.
Yeah, he sees that Johnny's taking part of the class, and just walks off. Johnny clocks him though. He sees him. He sees he's there and just sort of smirks to himself as Danny just walks back out of the door.
And Ken picks up on the little thing, which is why he's part of this podcast, because we get both a bit of acting in the background as the main scene's happening, and we also get Danny LaRusso talking to himself long after his mom's gone about how cute.
Oh God, I hated that.
Elizabeth Shue's character is.
I really wanted to just punch him myself. I'd have bullied him right there.
Yeah, the bullies see him and all point and all hug each other and off they run.
Yeah, but I think they were just all going to say goodbye to each other, and then one of them sees that he's in the shop talking to his own mother. Seems to think that's worth getting everyone else together for. Brings them all back. This is like a lengthy scene as well, where they're chatting nothing.
Too long.
There's nothing really that they're saying that's of interest. It's the background that you're focusing on, and then they all come back. And then it's like, let's go and... Oh, no, hang on, no, let's not go and get him. Let's all huddle together and discuss what we're going to do, and then let's all break off and go, let's go and do it.
Hugging each other and stuff.
Yeah, meanwhile, Danny's mom is so bored shitless of what he's saying that she just leaves. I think most of what she's saying is, I'm going to be a manager.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know. I think she's a waitress or something, but she's going to be a manager next.
Yeah, she's only been in the job a day.
Yeah, it's their first day there, I think.
Second day, maybe.
But she's going to be a manager now, and that's really good news, which it is as far as her career's progression. So well done. And
there's just some babbling bullshit about how fit his girlfriend is.
That annoyed me.
That goes on for ages.
Smile, excellent smile. She's really smart. I don't know. She's beautiful. I'd say she's beautiful. I think she's beautiful. I think she's something else, man. She's hot. Definitely hot.
We get Danny cycling back.
It's night time now, so I don't know how long he sat there talking to himself, but it's now night. Everyone just ignored him whilst he sat there babbling on about bollocks.
The bullies, they circle him in their motorbike gang, and they end up ramming him off the road, and he goes down a hill.
So what they must have been discussing was, let's hide until
night.
And we know which way he's going to go home, even though we don't know where he lives, but we probably know which route he'll take. And when it's night time and he eventually leaves after talking to himself, let's attack him. That's just what I think they must have been saying in that little huddle they had in the background.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, that's why I think that's what they said.
And I
don't think it was a coincidence. I think they planned this.
And they ram him off the road. He goes down the embankment, and he should have been wearing a fucking helmet.
Quite pathetically, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering they've put that much effort into it and they've waited until night time just to get him.
Just go down a little steep hill.
Just falls down a slight hill.
Yeah, but really hurts his head. Should have been wearing a helmet.
Yeah,
That's the big lesson to get from this film.
Yeah.
His mum sees him throwing his bike into the trash.
Yeah, he's hitting the bin.
Yeah.
They have a heart-to-heart.
He wants to go home.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to them, of course, the maintenance man, Miyagi, is listening to all of this.
Yeah, I like the line in this scene when the mom and Daniel LaRusso are fighting. He says that he wants to take karate lessons. The mom says fighting doesn't solve anything. Daniel LaRusso says, neither does palm trees. And she says, well, that's uncalled for.
And almost indecipherable.
Yeah. And meanwhile, as you say, Mr. Miyagi is listening in, polishing a little trowel.
Yeah.
Which isn't a euphemism.
Thankfully not, no.
What I've written here is Mr. Miyagi hears all.
Yeah, I think that sums that up.
It does, yeah.
That should have been the tagline of the film.
They're all going to the arcade and she invites him, but he says no because he sees the bullies and he runs off.
Yeah.
He's terrified.
Yeah, and she says you don't have to be, you don't have to avoid them. And he says, get off my ass. I've written it down. I don't know whether he does say that, but I'm not sure why outside I've written it.
That was the initial script. That was the initial film title.
Yeah, get off my. I think I've written "get off my ass." I don't even know what that says. Oh, sorry, get off my case. I've written it really badly.
You missed the C.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I can't remember him saying, get off my ass.
Sorry, everyone. I forgot to write the letter C. I've actually written get off my ace. Which doesn't make sense. So I changed it to ass.
Get off my ass. Oh, God. That was a film you were in, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
One of your earlier...
Yeah, that was back in the 70s, that was, yeah.
One of your earlier exploits.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it doesn't say that. He doesn't say that at all. He says, get off my case, which is more plausible for a kid's film.
To his girlfriend. He gets back home and he sees that his bike's back and it's looking brand new. Brand spanking new. Mr. Miyagi's fixed it.
Yeah, he says, have you fixed it? He says, yes. That's how he finds that out.
Mr. Miyagi's trimming his bonsai tree, which again isn't a euphemism. He's actually doing that. He says, thanks for fixing my bike. This is when we get our, the first of the many Mr. Miyagi lessons.
Trust. Concentrate. Think only tree. Make a perfect picture down to rust pine needle. Wipe your mind clean, everything but tree. Nothing exists, whole world. Only tree. You got it? Open eye. Remember picture?
Yeah.
Make like a picture. Just trust the picture.
But how do I know if my picture's the right one?
If come from inside you, always right on.
There's words that we've all lived by at some stage.
And yeah, they just both sit there trimming each other's bonsai trees.
Yeah, until his mum walks in and says, "What the hell are you doing?"
and then Miss Miyagi gives her his bonsai tree to take with her.
Yeah, which she says, "Oh no, I don't really want it." And he says, "I'll be offended." She says, "Oh, go on then."
What else has Pat Morita been in? Has it just been him?
He was in, wasn't he in Tora about the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor?
Was he?
Probably.
I always thought he was just either in...
I'm sure he was in that. I don't know why I'd say that if it wasn't in my head. I didn't look him up actually before this. So
no, I only
if
know...
he wasn't in that, then he should have been.
All I know is that he's done this and just spoofs of the Miyagi character. He'll just appear randomly in...
Well, I'm looking it up so you can carry on.
Yeah, the mom turns up. They get a bonsai tree each, and all of a sudden it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, Ken.
Thank you. When did they move in? How long ago was all this now?
Oh, 19...
No, but when did they move in? It was like
It looked like the
was
summer
it the
to
summer?
me, but it could be any time in California.
Thanks for clearing that up.
I think that's the tagline for the state as you drive into it. Mr. Miyagi's, he's carving some pumpkins. And for some reason, he's really adamant on Danny going to the school dance.
Yeah, because I don't know, who cares?
Yeah, but I
But
guess
he does, obviously Miyagi does.
Well,
Miyagi
I guess it's to give Danny the worst costume of all time.
It's fucking annoying, isn't it?
To the point of he's already getting bullied. You don't want to give him this costume. It's just going to be even worse. And he turns up as a shower.
He says the only way he's going to go is if he can go as the Invisible Man, which would have been a much better costume idea.
You know, I can't even remember the scene, so I was thinking maybe he turns up with bandages and goggles and stuff.
No such luck.
No, it's just a shower. He's got a shower curtain wrapped all around him.
Yeah, because Miyagi, when he hears the Invisible Man, so no one can see me, he kind of does a and thinks about it and thinks what he can do. And that's what he can do, which is rubbish.
The shower just fucking waltzes into this shit Halloween party.
We don't even know where this is, by the way, this party. It's at school, apparently. It seems to be at school.
And Ali knows instantly that it's Danny.
Yeah, look, there he is.
Just this massive shower curtain waltzing through the fucking hall. And then her friends say, I don't know what she sees in him. And the other one says, she must be into fungus.
Yeah. What's that all about?
I don't know. That sounds a very 80s.
Why do they hate each other so much immediately? They don't even know who he is.
Daniel LaRusso gets egged and he has to go to the toilet to wash it off. And he sees the bullies. They're all dressed as skeletons.
Yes.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they've gone gang-related, they've gone.
There's nothing cooler than watching the local bully having a shit, which seems to be happening.
Yeah, and somebody interrupts that shit, which he stands up, tells him to leave him alone.
It's a onesie as well.
And then sits back down to continue his shit.
They seem to be in onesies, which means he looks like he's either shitting out the leg of his skeleton costume or he's just shitting inside of it.
No, it turns out, actually, when Danny climbs above the cubicle to have a look at him having a shit, it turns out he's not having a shit. I've written he's either rolling a joint or he's wiring a plug, because it's really, really tight, whatever it is he's doing. It just looks ridiculous. It really does. It looks like there's nothing inside that joint whatsoever.
It looks like he's either
yes,
rolling a joint or wiring a plug.
You've never wired a plug, have you? You don't know what it's involved in wiring a plug.
God.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever wired a plug.
First, you put the filter in.
I don't think I've wired a plug either. That's probably why I don't know what it looks like.
Oh, God.
But I certainly know he's not having a shit. As does Danny, who's towering over him now, just looking at him.
Because what you want to do is have a look in just to make sure.
It's what I do. If ever I see an occupied cubicle, I like to stand on the toilet in the cubicle next to it, just have a little look over, see what's going on. See if it's all above board.
So to speak. And, we get some classic pratfalls and...
Yeah, what he does, right, he somehow gets a pipe with a hose attachment and just
not a smoking pipe.
Oh, no. Or a wiring of plug pipe. And he sort of like hangs it in the piping above. And it's just, I don't know, he just turns it on. Why have they got a hose that long attached to the basin in the gents? What's that for? What's that for at a high school?
In case someone sets fire to the toilets.
Yeah, but what if you just want to wash your hands in the sink? You've got to get to the end of the hose attachment.
Exactly.
What's the point of that? Anyway, yeah. So
you wash your hands in the toilet bowl.
That's what Johnny's doing. So he turns the taps on. The hose pipe just wets Johnny, who's still in the cubicle, doing whatever he's doing. They run after him. He ditches his stupid shower curtain. I think he has a quick one-liner with Ali on his way out.
Yeah,
because he said, "Oh yeah, it's about to happen" or something. Because he said he'll get his time and all that rubbish. I don't know. And as he runs outside, it causes a car crash.
Yeah.
People crash their cars into other cars. So people could have been hurt here just from him making Johnny get wet in the toilet cubicle.
Which is another one of your films.
Yeah, I didn't like that myself. Yeah.
You were Johnny.
Yeah, that was the tagline. You were Johnny. Yeah, people crash their cars. People could have got hurt from this.
Don't you see, Danny?
I mean, for God's sake. Just let it go. In fact, when they catch up with him, right, they even say, because they do run through a field, and they do catch up with him because he's trying to get to his house, which apparently is just over the field from the school. And they actually say, you couldn't leave well alone, suggesting it's been quite a while since the initial fight on the beach, which was summer. You've got to assume it's summer, otherwise why the hell would they be there? And now it's Halloween. So all that time, nothing else has happened, and then he goes and provokes all this by dressing up as a shower and pissing water all over Johnny, who's trying to wire a plug.
Yeah.
Dickhead. Sorry about that.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we get they corner him basically and start pummeling him. It's a 5-on-1 beatdown.
Good.
The enemy deserves no mercy, says little Jonny Lawrence.
Yeah, because somebody says he's had enough. And I think, is it Billy? Billy, Bobby?
Bobby.
They're all called something like that,
It's Bobby.
It's Bobby. Bobby, he's had enough. No mercy. He's reiterating the dojo creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thankfully, in the background, yet again another background, you see something climbing up a fence.
Yeah.
And that thing turns out to be Mr. Miyagi.
Turns out to be Pat Morita. Think the 1989 Batman film opening scene, but instead replace Batman with an old Japanese man.
Really? I'm trying to remember the opening scene of Batman.
It's when the two robbers get away with the money and Batman's above them and swoops in.
I'm Batman. Yeah. What are you?
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
He's like,
that's what he says.
I'm Batman.
All right, mate. I'm Batman, aren't I?
You want to see one of my special gigs?
All right, son. You all right?
If you've not listened to the Double Impact podcast, that will make no sense whatsoever.
But you should, because that's also about martial arts, and you must be interested in that genre.
You can't not listen to Double Impact and listen to The Karate Kid.
No. What kind of life do you lead if that's the case?
Anyway, yeah, Mr. Miyagi turns up and beats the shit out of them
Yeah,
all.
beats the holy hell out of all 5 of them.
How come you didn't tell me
Tell you what,
that you do karate?
you never ask.
Yeah, but where'd you learn it from?
Father,
I thought he was a fisherman.
in Okinawa, all Miyagi know 2 things, fish and karate. Karate come from China, 16th century, called te, hand. Much later, Miyagi ancestor called karate, empty hand.
I always thought it came from Buddhist temples and stuff like that.
You're too much TV.
Hey, you ever taught anyone?
Because Danny wants to train, he wants to learn karate, and Mr. Miyagi asks him why, and he says for revenge.
Yeah, he goes through all of this, doesn't he? Where that's not a good reason. Yeah,
He says, "Look at revenge that way. Start by digging 2 graves."
yeah, which is an old proverb actually. I've heard that before. I forgot that was in this. I certainly didn't recall Pat Morita mentioning that as Miyagi.
He talks about Cobra Kai because he was saying that karate is a defense; it's not an attack.
Yeah,
And
yeah, there are no bad student, only bad teacher.
would you think that's true, Ken?
I don't know. There are a few bad students, surely.
Yeah, I
they
would
just
have
can't
thought
be
so.
bothered to learn. I think it's a bit harsh on teachers.
He tells Danny to use his head for something other than a target. And he says for him to go to Cobra Kai. And Danny says, "I'll get killed if I turn up there." And Pat Morita says, "You'll get killed anyway."
Which again is a bit of a threat. It sounds a bit of a threat. It's like, look, you either go or I'll kill you.
He asks Mr. Miyagi to go with him, and he says no initially.
Quite right, too. It's got nothing to do with him.
That's
He's
what
just
he
there.
says.
He's just fixing the taps.
But he ends up going because they go there the next day. We get some demos going. There's some demos of some karate going on.
Do you know, in this bit, right, Martin Cove, where he gets to speak, doesn't he? He's walking around the dojo.
Captain Crease?
This is Captain John Crease, of course, yeah. Martin Cove, who plays him. I'd never noticed this, of course, because I was watching it as a child. This was never in my mind. But he reminded me of his teaching style if Will Ferrell was to pretend to be a karate instructor. It just reminded me of Will Ferrell.
It looks a bit like Will Ferrell.
all the way through this bit, I was just thinking, that's Will Ferrell, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I've written down. I've just written Will Ferrell.
Danny wants to get the hell out of there when he sees what's going on.
He looks absolutely scared to death.
Yeah.
All the way through this film, this guy.
He's 22. He's 5 or 6 years older than the rest of the cast. He shouldn't be.
But he looks it.
Yeah.
Absolutely shitting himself. He's got those big doe eyes that just looks on the permanent brink of tears. Yeah, and he does it again in this bit.
Yeah, and Crease and Jonny Lawrence confront Miyagi and LaRusso. And they want to settle the score right now because he heard that Miyagi had fought and beaten up, jumped 5 of his students.
One of them is actually doing a karate drill with his arm in a sling, even though the drill is punch with the right arm, and that's the one that's in the sling. But he's still going through the drill, apart from the punch, obviously.
He's just doing the motion.
Yeah, which is really weird. I thought it was weird. Johnny's got a black eye, which looks better than Danny's did in the first opening aftermath. But yeah, he has a few of them nursing injuries. So Captain John Crease, or Sensei Crease, is not happy about the whole thing. What?
Sensei Crease.
What's amusing about that? That's his name.
Sounds like a washing detergent of some kind. Anyway, he says let's settle this now. Let's have a fight between Jonny Lawrence and LaRusso. And Mr. Miyagi says...
doesn't say his full name.
Mr. Miyagi says no more fighting. And then Captain Crease says this is a karate dojo. Not
You're saying Captain Crease sounds more acceptable than Sensei Crease.
They both don't
Captain Crease also sounds like some sort of ironing board manufacturer.
That's what I said earlier. I'm going to have to cut that because you made the same joke.
I think I wasn't listening. I've only just got here.
Captain Crease sounds like a kid's fucking cereal brand.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Captain Crease says this is a karate dojo, not a knitting class, to which 4 or 5 old women get up and leave the dojo.
Yes, removing their gis. Which they knitted earlier.
And Mr. Miyagi says that they'll fight at the tournament. He's just entered Danny into a fucking professional tournament.
He just sees a poster, so he says, that'll do.
I say professional, it's kids, but still high quality, considering he's not done karate except out of a fucking brochure that he found. He's entered him into the tournament. And he has one more request, and it's that the bullies can't attack him until the tournament. He's got to... Not until the tournament.
As soon as they get to the tournament, they can beat the shit out of him. As soon as he pulls up in his mum's car, they just kick the shit out of him.
What an end to the film that would have been. They can't attack him. Leave the boy alone to train, he says, and they agree to that. And then this is where we get the wax on, wax off scene straight after.
Yeah. It's basically, he says, "What are you doing? That's I can't fight in a tournament. I've no idea what I'm doing." And he says, "I've just bought you 2 months of no beatings, so you're welcome."
Yeah,
you selfish git.
Yeah.
And then we go straight into the training. So he's now going to train him. Goes to a house, which I don't even know where the hell that is. They just drive for a while. I guess it's
his house.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he has to do the wax on, wax off. That's the scene that's now.
Yeah, because it gives him the even if you don't win, you give a good fight, you'll get respect, and then nobody will bother you. So basically, he's not training him to win the whole thing. He's just training him to not be beaten up in the first minute, and then everyone will think, okay, fair enough, he had a good go, and then just leave him alone again. Which, as I mentioned, it seemed like they were leaving him alone anyway until he turned up dressed as a shower and dicked it all up again.
Yeah, we get to, and then he starts acting really cocky around school because he knows that they can't touch him.
Yeah. See? So I hate him. The wax on, wax off scene that you said. Yes. That's still something that you can remember from the film, even years and years later on. So, yeah, wax on right hand, wax off left hand. And that's just said so many times. He even walks off. Miyagi walks off, still doing it in the air, saying wax on and wax off and all that rubbish. You get Miyagi, he's like meditating or he's just asleep. This is when he goes in to say, I've finished waxing all your cars. And how he's got all those cars. He just works as a janitor in a shitty apartment block. But Miyagi, he's still got his janitor's overalls on. And he's still got a lovely pencil in his pocket, which I noticed. He's got with a razor. It just made me laugh that he was there meditating with his little work pencil still in his top pocket. But yes, Danny then back at school, he's an absolute dick. He's like walking around like he's bulletproof, and they just think, shut up.
Yeah, it's bad. And he somehow gets Elizabeth Shue's number. She writes it down for him, says, meet me at my house. So they go on a date. Yeah,
all the bad guys are just like, I'm going to beat him up. No, you can't. Sensei said we have to leave him alone.
Sensei Crease.
Yes.
And I Sensei Crease.
In the Force.
And there's a great use of the history teacher to escape the bullies, where he says he wants to listen to. It actually backfires horrifically. He says they want to listen to a lecture of what you gave in the last.
Yeah, they give a bit of a comedy. Oh, actually, no, we better go somewhere else.
So then he has to go and sit through it.
Yeah, and he says, well, I don't mind telling you it all again.
So how is that him outsmarting the bullies? It sounds like it backfired, if anything.
Unless, of course, he was really interested in the history class.
That's a good point. Stay in school, kids. We get another comedy scene of Danny meeting the rich parents of Ali.
Yeah.
He's got the dad's got a nice towel/tracksuit combo going on.
I've actually written that the parents are like the parents in the film Society.
Yeah,
like Billy Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just horrible, just comes fresh from the squash club or tennis club or whichever club they belong to. They probably belong to all of them. Yacht club.
Yeah.
All of the clubs they belong to. They're rich. They're wealthy people.
Yeah, and then they go on a date. The mum's there. I think the sort of parents sort of look down on her for being polite. Hello.
Yeah, because as they pick up Ali, their car doesn't start. And they have to do another push start of the car. It's just totally embarrassing, and the parents are just like, ugh.
It's the classic 80s date night. It's a fun fair. It's like the arcade, which appears to be like the arcade. It's like some sort of massive fair. You got air hockey, you got crazy golf, you got the roller coasters, you got bumper cars. Classic. All that was missing was some cotton candy and him winning some sort of prize for us to carry around.
Yeah, a big cuddly toy.
Yeah.
Thankfully not.
All set to a very 80s song. The whole soundtrack of this film is the most 80s thing I've ever heard in my life.
Which is reasonable, because it was the 80s.
It ends with a cool car and a guy offering Ali to get a lift with him. And to be honest with you, he asks her and she says no. Oh, here's the guy I'm with, and he's just polite. He says, oh, hello, nice to meet you, and then he leaves. Yeah,
and that's the end of that. And then Johnny turns up
in his drop down
again,
sort of old person's. It's not really a young person's car by the look of it. It looks sort of something an old person would drive. But anyway, yeah, they offer them to go with them. It seems like he's kind of offering a branch of, he can come with us if he's allowed out.
Yeah, if it's okay with his mummy.
Yeah, a bit of ribbon.
Who immediately turns up. and says, "Hi, kids."
Yeah.
And, you know, she's really pleased to see them all, and they all just laugh.
They just take the
laugh
piss
in
out
their
of a car.
faces and just drive away. Yeah, whatever, man.
Okay with his mommy.
Hi, kids.
Hey, Mommy, can Daniel come for a ride? I really like your color, Mrs. LaRusso.
We cut next day to Miyagi's house again, and the training continues. And this time, it's sanding the floor. So you sand the floor, right circle, left circle. That's your training finished. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. The actual garden's really nice.
It
I
is
like
very
that
nice.
garden.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very peaceful. It's a 6 a.m. start for actual training, he says, and the training is catching flies with chopsticks. And actually, Danny does it pretty much the first time, much to the annoyance of Miyagi, who calls it beginner's luck.
Really does seem angry about that.
Yeah. And
Apparently, man who can catch fly with chopstick can do anything.
Yeah. And he does it after about the third attempt, I think.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I also did used to try and do that.
Any luck?
No. Absolutely none.
No.
I mean, I had chopsticks. I just didn't have an abundance of flies.
You didn't have a fly.
No. You know, I was there just like running around with chopsticks all the time in case a fly turned up.
Yeah, why would that fly hang around there when he's
Well,
getting attacked?
it turned out that when a fly did arrive, I was sans chopsticks. And, yeah, I was just never prepared for the fly, really. That's the real thing. That's the real trick.
Yeah. Guys, have you ever found yourself sans chopsticks at the exact wrong time? Head on over to the Bad Movie Cult shop where you've got our chopstick holders.
Oh, yes.
They attach straight to your belt.
And chopstick holsters.
Holsters, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get those.
Underarm. They attack around like a sort of like a gun.
Like the Chuck Norris Invasion USA double chopstick holster.
Yes, just under the shoulders. Order now while stocks last. Anyway, yeah, he catches the he doesn't catch the chopstick. He catches the fly.
That would have been dangerous.
And he then says, "Paint my fence, you shit."
He says, all right then.
Yeah.
Fair dues.
And he does, and he says, all finished, and then he says, both sides. And he's like, no, you didn't ask me to do both sides.
So I am now, dickhead.
Yeah, and eventually he does. And then he's got to be there early next morning for the actual training, which is more painting.
Paint the house.
And he's not happy. He's not happy they didn't go fishing, because he turns up, he's got some fish. And he says, you can't fish, you're doing karate training. And Danny throws a fit.
He's very angry about that. Yeah.
He says he's just been his slave for the last week, just painting things and washing his cars and sanding his bonsai tree.
Sanding his...
Yeah. So he says, I'm leaving, I'm going home. And Miyagi calls him back. Warms his hand, does his warm hands routine because he's got a bad shoulder. Because he asked him to show him the wax on, wax off. He rubs his hands together, which you've probably seen in a lot of films. It's copied quite a lot, and he fixes his shoulder with a little rub. And he says to him, "Show me sand the floor." And it's these actions that are the blocking techniques of karate.
Yes, not really, obviously, but in the film,
no. Show me wax on, wax off. Show me paint the fence, and show me paint the house. All of these add up to a full arsenal of defense.
Yeah, which he proves by trying to punch Daniel in the face.
There's one point where he's really going for it, trying to hit him.
That's fair. It's fairly deserved.
There's a nice pose from Miyagi in the next scene where Danny's in the ocean trying to keep balance.
Yeah, I don't know. The balance, right? Keep your balance. And there's like 7-foot waves just encompassing his entire body, knocking him to the ground. I'd like to see Miyagi try and keep his balance in these sort of wave conditions.
He's on a massive log.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's on some sort of a pillar.
Yeah.
But there's no way anyone's keeping their balance in that, okay?
No.
I'm telling you that now. That looks ferocious, the waves in that. Keep your balance.
There's some racist fuck.
I've written down, is that Larry Drake?
Yes, it is.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you look that up?
No, but it is.
Yeah, I thought it was. God, he looks ill in that. Looks like he's like on his deathbed in this film. Larry Drake, of course, I think he was in L.A. Law, wasn't he, as Arn? But as I prefer to remember him as Dr. Giggles. And he was also, he was in Darkman as well. As
that's
Durant.
what I was going to say.
Sorry, Durant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Giggles was he was a starring title character in that.
Yeah.
Very good film. Horror film, obviously.
Yeah, well, I know him from Darkman, but yes, it is him. And he's a racist little shit, and he gives Miyagi some I can't remember what he calls him, but he does the sort of Chinese face. And Mr. Miyagi ends up karate chopping.
Oh yes, his beer bottles.
Yeah, and breaking them. And as they walk away, because obviously Durant's very surprised by all of this.
Yeah.
And
looks even worse than he did at the time.
And Danny says, "How did you do that?" And Mr. Miyagi says, "I don't know. It was the first time." So he didn't know what was going to happen.
No, he could just have knocked all those bottles just onto the ground.
Yeah.
But he didn't anyway, no. He did exactly what he needed to do. Larry Drake, very surprised, a little bit fearful.
Yeah.
No giggles there.
Yeah. So the bad guy from Darkman is a racist.
Yeah, that's not going to help the film, is it?
I think that was the tagline. Anyway, we get...
If you're the bad guy, though, you can be a racist, as long as he's not the hero.
We get the Danny LaRusso's balancing on a boat while Mr. Miyagi's fishing. And Danny asks, when do I learn how to punch? Which is fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Miyagi says, balance good, karate good, everything good. Balance bad, karate bad, everything bad.
That was quite long-winded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You get the other one from the first one.
Yeah. Anyway, so he says... he again asks, when do I learn how to punch? And Mr. Miyagi says, learn how to punch, learn how to keep dry, and rocks the boat, and Danny falls into the water.
Yeah. And then he says, you're all wet behind the ears.
And laughs like he's never laughed before.
He laughs in such a way that he falls onto his back and waves his legs, like the end of every episode of Peppa Pig, if you've ever seen that.
Mm.
I have, unfortunately. I've seen every single one of them. About 10 seasons, 8 seasons or something like that. I've seen them all many times.
Is Peppa Pig just like Pingu? Or just updated?
No, they can talk, though. You can understand what they're saying.
I always remember that Pingu's dad used to hit him.
Yeah, well, I would.
I don't think you're allowed that. I don't think they even show those episodes anymore. But I remember as a kid watching those, and Pingu's dad would hit him.
He used to be like...
Yeah, and he'd just go... Whoosh, and
well, quite right.
Just
because
hit
Pingu
him.
just used to just go meh, meh in his face.
Yeah. Do they show Pingu anymore on kids' TV?
Probably not if there was domestic violence involved.
I don't think they show those episodes where that happened.
No, well, fully deserved. Anyway, plasticine penguins.
Yeah, we get Ali dancing at some posh party with her dad. And then Johnny turns up.
Yeah, Johnny's dancing with her mum, which is nice.
In a nice suit jacket with the Cobra Kai emblem on the back.
Just massive. Yeah, no, I don't think he has. But
Danny's waiting outside because she said that I'll meet you at 9 p.m. So he's waiting. She doesn't turn up. So he sneaks into the back through the kitchens, I believe.
Yeah, like a servant,
Yeah.
So it's immediately setting out the fact that they're all rich and he's not.
And
so that's the way he goes in, rather than trying to go through the front.
Like
and
everyone else would.
And saying, I'm here to see, and gives her name and everything. And they go, oh, just 1 minute, I'll go and get her for you. He comes through the kitchens and...
has a little peep through the...
a bit like, like the servant's entrance.
Yeah. He has a little look into the party and he sees that his Elizabeth Shue is kissing Johnny.
Well, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
He sees that Johnny, again, is his incredible vision, to be honest. Johnny, he's always aware of what's going on in the background, but when he's in the background, nobody sees him. I don't know if that's part of it. But he sees that Danny's peering through the kitchen window, sees that and thinks, this will mess him up, and kisses Ali, which does mess him up. He was right. He was 100% accurate on that.
Yeah, he's not happy with it at all.
So much so that he falls to the ground.
Yeah, he knocks her.
Well, we just hear a big bang and a clattering, and everyone turns to see what it is. It's almost like a needle scratch on the record moment, although I think it's a live band, so that wouldn't have happened. And the kitchen doors are open. Danny's laying on top of a chef or waiter, all covered in spaghetti.
Yeah, and everyone...
It's happened so many times before.
True to form in these films, everyone in the whole thing turns and laughs at him.
Yeah, it's all he can see, just the entire population of this ballroom just laughing in his face. Oh, God. Again, it's like Society.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've written.
The next scene is the drunk Miyagi scene.
Well, she slaps him. She slaps Johnny.
Sorry, yes, we should mention that. She says, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, and slaps him across the chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's all right. Job done. Job done for Johnny. He's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the drunk Miyagi scene that it tried to get cut. Like the studio wanted that cut constantly for pacing, and the director demanded it be left in. And it's basically a chance to get some backstory to Miyagi, and that he's drunk and he's singing the Japanese blues.
Yeah. He's he's in full military uniform.
Him and Danny have a toast, underage, drinking alcohol. But basically, it's the anniversary of his and his wife's marriage, I assume. And it turns out that his wife and child died in childbirth. And Mr. Miyagi himself was a war vet.
Yeah, he was away at the time. He received a telegram to say that they had both passed.
Yeah. And they wanted that cut, the studio, and the director fought for it and eventually stayed in. So there you go. We get a nice montage of Danny getting more balanced. And, just a bit more improvement every single time you go on.
Yeah, they're doing the crane kick practice as well, as we saw Miyagi doing at the whilst Daniel was being smashed into the ground by those 7-foot waves. Yeah, keep your balance, you idiot. Yeah, but so now we get more of that. It's another silhouette against the sunrise of California, doing the crane kick on one of those pillars. Yeah.
Just think of Team America with the montage song.
Yeah, they're doing some punches now.
Doing the 1-inch punch, aren't they?
It's just pathetic, the punches, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's wearing Miyagi at this point is wearing full body padding.
Yeah, like a baseball padding, isn't it?
Yeah, and getting him to punch him. He even says at one point, use some kind of girl or something. So weak are the punches that Danny's given him. And they never really get overly powerful at all, those punches. It seems quite pathetic. He doesn't really need to be wearing so much padding because the punches look like they'd just be irritating more than painful.
Yeah, he gets carried away as well, doesn't he, Danny? Starts just throwing, ranting, starts doing boxing, sort of dancing manoeuvres.
Yeah, does the old quick feet, the Muhammad Ali quick feet.
And then Miyagi just takes him down to the ground and elbows him in the head.
Rightfully so, yeah. Then elbow drops him, climbs up onto the top rope, suplexes. No, he doesn't do any of that, but he should have done.
Yeah.
He's just fucking annoying.
I tell you what, Mr. Miyagi looks fucking great in a party hat.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Yeah, he knows how to party, doesn't he?
Wears the shit out of that. It's Danny's birthday.
It is, yeah.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Yeah. This is great. It's great news. And rather than spend it with his mum, he's with Mr. Miyagi.
So an old Japanese man.
Old Japanese man
from Okinawa.
in a house that nobody knows where it is, in the middle of California.
And he's also got his driver's license out of nowhere.
Yeah, which is good. Couldn't drive for shit earlier, so that's good.
Because Mr. Miyagi gives him a car.
Yeah, but. The main gift is that he gets a gi, a karate gi, with the emblem of Mr. Miyagi's. I don't know what emblem it was.
Miyagi-Do.
It's just a picture of a bloody bonsai tree, isn't it?
With a sunset behind it.
Yeah. He said that was his main gift, and his second gift was pick any car you want.
It's a silhouette of Mr. Miyagi's bonsai tree.
Pick any car you want out of all these cars that you've been waxing. Again, I don't know how he got that many cars. He's a janitor.
Yeah.
But he's got loads of cars, and he picks one, and it's the one, thankfully, nearest the camera.
Yeah. Little fact for you, that yellow car that he picks was given to Ralph Macchio at the end of filming for free. Just given, and he still owns it.
Who by?
Pat Morita.
So it was his real car?
No.
No, I was going to say, how did he get home?
The studio, I was still wondering where the hell that car's gone.
Crazy old Pat. Not understanding the rules of ownership.
Yeah. Anyway, Danny LaRusso, off he fucks. He's on a joyride through the amusement park.
Yeah, because he gets, first, before he goes, there's a slow scene again. This is, in fact, I would have cut this bit rather than the whole background of Miyagi's
bonsai tree.
Poor dead wife.
Yeah.
The bit where he just says, like, not just teaching karate, teaching whole life, and gives it all of that rubbish. And, I'm teaching you more than you could even ever know, you pathetic freak. It doesn't do any of that. But, yeah. And Daniel says, you're my best friend. And he says, yeah, you're okay. Which I did like, actually. Yeah. And then they shout bonsai at each other about 4 times whilst Danny just drives off in his new car.
Yeah, they did earlier when they were cheersing before they drank.
Yeah, that's annoying as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he goes straight back to the arcade. Danny, in his new car. Yeah, looking out, he stands up at one point whilst driving, which I think that's no way to treat a new car, is it? It's just reckless. Yeah, so he's off to try and find Ali.
Of course, she's at the arcade, because every kid goes to the arcade.
That's the only place to go in this film. You've got to be at the arcade or you're no one.
They're playing rifle shoot.
Yes, they are, yeah.
And he jumps in front of them.
He does, yeah, and she does shoot him as well.
Yeah.
He says, oh, no, hands up, don't shoot. And she does. And somebody says, he says, I'm wounded. And her friend says, I hope you die. Or something along those lines. She hates him anyway.
Yeah.
Which is fair dues.
And because Danny only thinks Ali likes him because... No, sorry. Danny thinks Ali only likes rich boys with nice cars. Well, he's got a nice car too. It looks like a train cart without the roof.
It's a massive car. Yeah, he gives her all that. He gives her all the, oh, poor old me, you're only interested in the rich guys. That's, no, I've got no chance and all that. And he's kind of been a bit of a dick to her.
Yeah, unwarranted, really.
Yeah, because she's gone out on a date with him and all that stuff. You know, he didn't have a car then, did he? She doesn't even know he's got a car now, so what the hell's he talking about?
Little did she know he's got a fucking one of those American yellow school buses with the roof ripped off it.
Yeah. He's driven under a low bridge.
How big the car is.
So they argue about their background, how she's rich, he's not. She points out that she doesn't care, and he's the only one who keeps mentioning it, which is fair enough. She walks off in a mood, leaving him to speak to her friends, which is always a good idea. Because the girl's friends are always appreciative of the boyfriend. She says, yeah, that's right, you left, didn't you, just before she gave him a right hook. Yeah, so anyway, he's like, oh, my, wowee, I didn't know any of that. I better go and say sorry for this. Goes across, there's an 80s song playing throughout the whole arcade scene. And then he finds her just by the water slide, which made me think, what kind of fucking arcade is this? You've got a water slide as well.
Yeah, and
this is like an entire holiday park.
There's guys in just swimming trunks.
Yeah, exactly. It's the middle of the night for a start. What the hell's going on in this place? So you've got all the roller coasters, you've got the crazy golf, you've now got a water slide. This is the best arcade ever. Never been to an arcade like this. It's like a massive holiday camp. Anyway, he says, I'm a jerk. She says, yeah, you are. And that's the end of that. They're all patched up and they make friends again. Tournament's tomorrow. There you go. That's when he brings up the tournament, the karate tournament. And then he says, I'll probably get killed in the first round. And he does. And that's the end of the film. Yeah.
Pummeled into a paste on the ground.
Yeah. And unfortunately he dies. And they never made another film.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Bad Movie Cult podcast. No, Mr. Miyagi goes to sign him up for the tournament and just lies and says he's a black belt.
Yeah, which could have got him seriously hurt. But he doesn't care. Miyagi's not bothered. He doesn't care. It's not him fighting, is it? Yeah.
There's just enough time for some pre-fight bullying, and we get Billy Idol, who I didn't realise was in the Cobra Kai, but he turns up and he starts. He says, "Points or no points, you're dead. No, dead meat."
That is Dutch, the character called Dutch. He's got bright, very, very fluorescent blonde hair, and he's played by Chad McQueen, who's the son of Steve McQueen.
Really?
There you go. And Chad McQueen actually studied martial arts under Chuck Norris.
Really?
So there you go.
Looks like Billy Idol.
He does, yes.
Fair play to him.
I actually wrote he was very Aryan looking.
Yeah.
The character's called Dutch, so I suppose he could have been. But yes, I looked him up. Chad McQueen. I've got another couple of films with Chad McQueen in as well.
What are they? Karate Kid 2?
I can't remember them off the top of my head. There's one. It's like it's kind of like a very, very low budget Expendables, where you've got Chad McQueen, you've got Don Swayze, and basically relatives of other people that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, we get the is it the security? They've got T-shirts with security written on it.
Yeah.
And they're saying that only one of you can be alongside him in the fight pit, or whatever the hell it's called.
I think it's just called the arena.
The arena.
It's not a fight pit. This is children. High school kids. Yeah, the death pit.
And they basically they say that Pat Morita can't speak English, so she's the translator, and that's how they get around that. We had a brief explanation of the rules for people who don't know karate, which is that anything above the waist, a strike is a point.
You know, before we even get to that fight, Danny pisses me off by asking so many questions and being so pathetic in the whole of the, I don't know what I'm doing kind of thing. He's just like that. Well, what are the rules? He asks there. Yeah, obviously she tells him the rules because Miyagi's like, I don't know, never done this before.
Yeah, I fight in the streets.
Yeah, where do I go? Why is he kneeling down? Where's arena? Where's pitch 3? It's just like, oh, shut up, you whiny little shit. You just go home. Go home and we'll just cancel the whole thing and you get beaten up at school on Monday. Just, we're doing this for you. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so scared and everything. And you think, just forget it. And I think maybe Miyagi was there. I hope you do get killed in the first round. I'm sick to death of you. I have my car back as well. That's really expensive. I didn't think you'd pick that one. Yeah. That kind of thing, But, yeah. And then he finally gets to fight and he still looks scared shitless.
Yeah, he does like the sort of happy legs kind of thing where his legs constantly moving.
He looks, I'll tell you what he looks like. I've never seen anyone so terrified of imminent combat since Elijah Wood in Green Street. Whereas I used to say, if I was in the other rival soccer gang, I would always be there thinking, I'm having him. He's mine. I'm going to fight that guy there, the one who looks terrified. This would be the ideal opponent for anyone in this tournament because he just looks scared to death. Never changes either through every round he gets through, inexplicably.
Thank you for using soccer there for the sake of our...
I didn't like it. I don't like saying it, but...
There's a great... as I say, he gets through the first round. The guy attacks him with his back.
Yeah, he's looking straight past him
and
never wavers from looking behind him. Yeah, and then just backs into him so he can kick him.
Karate chop him in the head.
Give him a little bit of that.
Great song up next, which is basically a
yeah, cause he kicks this first guy finally after running away twice and getting told if you run away again you're going to lose a point, you pathetic idiot. So he doesn't run, and so the guy when he backs into him, he kicks him, and there seems to be a crowd The crowd go wild for this. It's like, why is there a crowd?
For the first round.
It's like round one of nobody versus nothing. And they're all there like, yeah. Ali shouts, go, Danny, you're the best.
Around.
And that's where the montage starts. Yes, the song You're the Best Around by Joe Esposito comes on.
It's so perfect for this film.
It's the only song worth remembering out of the whole film, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. It unleashes a huge montage on us.
Yeah, the whole tournament, thankfully, where we see Johnny and the rest of the Cobra Kai boys just decimate the opposition.
Yeah, everyone in this like montage is much better than Danny LaRusso.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, because I think even the guy who played Johnny didn't do any karate before this, but he was a high school wrestler. I'm not sure if
he's quite impressive. Actually, he is quite impressive. He seems quite believable.
Well, I think after this he went on, and I think he's like green belt in some sort of karate now. But yeah, I don't know if Ralph Macchio actually knows any karate, or if he learned it.
He certainly doesn't look like he does.
No,
even at this point in the film.
There's some shots of Danny slowly beating some Cobra Kai members that you don't know the names of.
one of them who's just perpetually angry. He's got wide, bug-eyed all the time with his veins sticking out of his face. I really liked him. He's one of my favourites. I think I actually wrote his name down at the end. He's called Jimmy, and he's played by Tony O'Dell.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just furious about everything. He kind of reminded me of Bozo from the Toxic Avenger. He's just so stressed. Yeah, that karate guy is really stressing me out, Julie. Yeah, he just seems angry about everything. Brilliant. He's my favourite throughout this tournament. Certainly, he's in the background of a lot of these.
That karate guy's stressing me out, Captain Crease.
But he does actually get beaten by that, even though he looks absolutely furious throughout the whole fight.
You get Billy Idol, he's up next.
Yep, you get him.
Kicks Daniel in the face.
Rightly so. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, but he ends up eventually overcoming him.
Yeah, by hitting him in the stomach once.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means he's the winner.
Yeah, quite right too.
He wins a lot of those, actually, just by hitting them once, meaning, winner.
Yeah.
So why?
You get the feeling that Vidal of the Locust Valley Karate Club is the only actually well-trained karate guy.
He does look quite impressive, doesn't he?
Yeah, a lot of spin kicks and all that sort of stuff. But he's eliminated by Johnny.
That's the semi-final, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the semi-finalists. The other one is Danny LaRusso and Bobby.
Yeah, it turns out Johnny's the defending champion, isn't it?
Two-time defending champion.
Two-time, he announces that just before his semi-final fight.
So that means that this is his third year going into this competition, and Daniel LaRusso has learned in 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
Enough to take down the two-time reigning champion.
Well, we don't know yet, do we? Don't spoil it. Don't spoil the film.
Crease, he wants LaRusso out of commission, regardless of if Bobby's disqualified or not.
Yeah, which seems a bit unusual. If Bobby had won, Bobby would have fought Johnny.
Yeah, so
that would have been that's a no-lose situation, wouldn't it? That's like Cobra Kai wins no matter what.
Yeah.
That's a dojo victory.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Captain Crease has decided that he just wants him out of commission, disqualificatus or not.
I Sensei Crease in the Force.
In the Force. Yeah, they all kind of look at Sensei Crease as if to say, "Are you sure? Are you sure about this?" But that's just like looks. That's just how they portray that. They're just unsure of his motives and his methods.
In terms of gruesome acts of violence in films,
oh yeah, and injury infliction.
American History X's Curb Stomp and this.
Oh, I don't even know which one to put above the other.
No. Basically, Bobby gets himself disqualified with her horrific attack on Daniel LaRusso's thigh.
He leaps into the air and kind of kicks out at his knee and
brushes
and
his
brushes
knee
it gently,
with a toe, I think.
which is enough to knock him to the ground, screaming like a child.
Yeah. He ends up having to get...
He actually then falls upon him, falls on top of him, just shouting into his face, "I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry."
Yeah, like it's Vietnam.
Yeah, that's Bobby though. You see, he's not part of that. I think he was probably the one at the beginning when when Mr. Miyagi first joined in, who said he's had enough.
Yeah,
that was probably Bobby as well. He knows what he's capable of. Bobby, he could probably have taken Johnny in that, Anyway, he's disqualified. He's out of there.
Yeah.
They all seem a bit upset about the whole thing. The Cobra Kai dojo seem a bit upset at the Sensei Crease. But they don't do anything, obviously, because it's Will Ferrell. Start a fight with Will Ferrell.
And if LaRusso can't make it back, then Lawrence wins by default. I'm sure that's, if you've got two people from the same dojo and one goes out to hurt the other opponent so that the other one wins, I'm sure that probably wouldn't stand as a victory.
He's got 15 minutes.
Yeah, but he's got 15 minutes, as it turns out. Everyone just throws a towel in for him. Says, "Oh, well, you tried."
Yeah, at least you had a go, mate.
And they leave, except for Sensei
Miyagi. Well, it's because he basically he's on their side, saying that you did well. Time to call it a day. He says, "No, I have to fight. I'll never be able to look at them again. I'll lose." So using the balance motif, he said, "I would lose balance with them, with Ali, and with myself." Miyagi falls for it, absolutely. Hook, line, and sinker, and says, "Yeah, fair dues, and I'll make you okay." Does his clap hands and rub hands, and then makes his knee fine.
He's back. He's back in the game.
Yeah, the ring announcer is just about to declare Johnny the winner of the entire world when he gets reports that Danny LaRusso is going to come back and fight.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. The present day. Daniel LaRusso is going to fight? Daniel LaRusso is going to fight! Now, isn't this what it's all about? You know it! How's the leg, son? All right, the big event, the final match to determine who will emerge victor and champion of the All-Valley Under-18 Karate Championship. Daniel LaRusso, Miyagi-Do Karate. Miyagi-Do Karate. Versus Jonny Lawrence of the Cobra Kai. 3 points win. Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Even though he can hardly stand up, which they would just accept as being, yeah, he seems fine. Yep, let's let him fight again. And to Danny's credit, he inexplicably goes 2 points in the lead.
Yeah, he gets the first point with the gut strike and the second one with a take it down and strike.
Yeah, even though Johnny's clearly better than him. Johnny gets told, sweep the leg.
You got a problem with that? No mercy. That's what Captain Crease says.
Yeah, no sensei. No mercy, says the sensei.
That should be the tagline for the film pitch.
What, no sensei, no mercy? Yeah, so Johnny quickly comes back to 2-2, which would therefore suggest that even though the crowd are booing, the focusing on the injured leg is an acceptable point-winning idea. So, I don't know why he's the bad guy.
He gets his second point for kick to side that he gets announced. It's all action going on here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's booing him for everything, but surely you identify a weakness in your opponent and you exploit that weakness.
Yeah, I mean, technically from the actual standpoint of the tournament, Johnny's not actually done anything wrong.
No, he doesn't. No, because he's gaining points, which means that it's a legitimate move. It's a point-scoring move. So why would they boo him?
Yeah,
it's because he's wearing black.
Bad guys wear black, as Pantero once said.
That contradicts the Chuck Norris film of good guys wear black. Explain that.
Good guys wear beards.
What a conundrum we found ourselves in.
Danny goes out of bounds. He's sort of toying with him, Johnny, at various points where he's just sort of sweeping the leg. And
Meanwhile, of course, you've got, what did I say his name was? Jimmy? Was it Jimmy?
Yeah.
Played by Odell.
Yeah.
He was just constantly in the background behind the sensei shouting, "Kill him! Kill him! Get him a body bag!
Get him a body bag, yeah."
He's just like looking on the brink of some sort of seizure, this guy. Absolutely brilliant. I really did enjoy him in this end scene.
Well, the thing is that is it an illegal move because Johnny punches him in the face?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the actual rules are, because seem to be no punches to the face, but Johnny does get a bloody nose in the earlier bit, doesn't he? But I think that's from falling to the ground, isn't it?
And Daniel LaRusso kicks him in the face.
Yeah, and he does say at one point he catches Danny's leg and elbows his right
joint
in the knee, doesn't he? Yeah, which looks like that's hurts a lot.
That's illegal contact to the knee. That's a warning for Johnny.
And then they say next point wins 2-2.
Yeah.
Which would suggest that it was already next point wins 2-2 before he did that.
Yeah.
But they didn't say it before that.
Yeah. Then we get the crane kick, the most unlikely of winning strikes.
Yeah, because it's quite a choreographed move, for one, because he's stood like a crane in front of him, and he still doesn't know what's happening. I don't know, maybe he's never seen a crane. I don't know.
Isn't it a strike to the head, so therefore illegal?
I don't know.
Anyway, he wins. And this film ends.
It just ends. That's the end of that. Finished.
Because he gets lifted on top of everybody. He gets the trophy, which it looks like a sort of dining table leg with
a huge trophy
with a karate man on top of it.
Trophy's bigger than Miyagi.
Jonny Lawrence forgives everything that's happened between them. Says, "You're all right, LaRusso. Good match."
Yeah, and hands the trophy to him.
You see nothing of Captain Crease.
No.
Well, how he takes the loss, which you would have thought he's sort of the main bad guy, because even when he's saying to do these things, Johnny's sort of looking around like, should we actually do it? So Crease seems to be the ultimate bad guy, but you get no reaction from him. And then it's Daniel LaRusso saying, Mr. Miyagi, we did it, woohoo. And Mr. Miyagi nodding.
It just nods in slow motion, freeze frame, end.
The end of the film.
Yeah. It's like Rocky. Adrian, we did it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. And then the music comes on, and it's like very, very like pounding music, exactly the same as Rocky.
Yeah.
I didn't like the film.
Why do you think, after all these years, people are still nostalgic about it? Is it because of just watching it as a kid? If they watched it again, do you think they would change their mind about it?
Probably, yeah. I wished I hadn't watched it again.
Yeah, me too.
It kind of ruined the film. It's because it irritated me more than enjoyed the film.
Yeah, much more fonder memories of it than actually watching it
I'll tell
again.
you a film I don't think will annoy me that I used to like. I don't think Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't think that would ever annoy me, because I think that's probably still exactly the same.
I'll tell you a film that hasn't aged well is Flight of the Navigator. You ever watched that as a kid?
I don't know if I did,
God,
I don't think I did.
There's a lot of Pee Wee Herman impressions and stuff going on in that.
What's wrong with that?
It's very of its time.
Well, he's still going.
Yeah, but it's not Paul Rubens. It's just some guy pretending to be Paul Rubens. It's not good, and it's just not as good as I remember it as a child.
Well, stop watching it then. You're a grown man.
Well, this is the reason I watched it, for this nostalgia kick. But I was thinking, I need to stop watching these films. It is pretty quotable, though, this original film. A lot of the quotes you still see popping up, and the hand gesture with the rubbing hands and things like that.
Wax on, wax off. That was always... My mum used to remember that one. She'd probably still give me a wax on, wax off reference if pushed.
Yeah. I mean, but Ralph Macchio's not the best thing. I mean, Pat Morita is probably the best thing in the film, would you say?
Yes.
Probably the breakout talent.
Breakout, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
at the age of 60 something.
Yeah, but he came into sort of pop culture as a result of it, and was in music videos and things like that. He was always just Mr. Miyagi and everything, but
yeah, but he was in all of them though, wasn't he?
I have no idea. I don't think I saw any more than this one.
No, he was in. I'm pretty sure he was even in the fourth one with Hilary Swank as the.
Be careful with that name, haven't you?
No, I don't like saying it.
Yeah,
I think even he was in that one.
Yeah,
the third one's pretty good. I didn't really care for the second one. I can't really remember the second one.
Ralph Macchio in that one.
Yeah.
Is he in all of them?
The third one, he goes to a bad dojo. Yeah, he's coaxed across to go to the bad dojo, and I think it's in Japan, that one. I think so. It's been a long time since I watched any of them, apart from that one, which I watched today. But yeah, and the fourth one is the Karate Kid, and it's a girl instead.
Is this getting the Ken B. Wild 2 thumbs up recommendation?
It's not getting both of them. No, it's not getting both thumbs up.
No,
absolutely not. No, it will get 1 thumb up for of its time.
Yeah,
and probably I'll sweep the leg out of holds on for, what was it, maybe 30 years. No, not quite.
We should mention that it has spawned Cobra Kai, which is a very popular TV show.
I've not seen any of those.
Yeah, it basically, at least the first few series, follows Jonny Lawrence and his point of view of the situation, and it carries on 30 years on from that final fight. With the first scene of the first episode is the crane kick, and then it cuts to Jonny Lawrence in his flat 30 years later. Yeah, I really liked it, and I like the fact, because I think like a lot of fans have said it for years about how actually Danny LaRusso is actually the bad guy in the Karate Kid, and so it does subvert it, and it gives you from the point of view of Jonny Lawrence.
I think when he said you couldn't let it go, it just seems like that they just ignored him for a few months until he dressed up as that shower and pissed all over Johnny.
You can't have a hero dressing up as a shower. And then when the guys get told that they can't touch him for 2 months, you go walking up to them taking the piss. That's not the act of a hero in a film, that.
He's just annoying, isn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't really like his character.
No.
I used to. I'd say that's when you first watch it. That's exactly. It's clean cut. It's simple. He's the goodie. Everyone else is the baddie. He wears white. They wear black. Job done. Everyone knows everything.
Yeah.
And you watch it again and you think, yeah, he's a bit of a dick, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit annoying.
Yeah, and in Cobra Kai, Jonny Lawrence is sort of a down and out, no job sort of, and he blames it on this one moment in his life, which you were talking about before, where he had the whole world in front of him, and then it all got turned over by Danny LaRusso.
I told you that.
Which is the plot point in Cobra Kai.
Is
and
it?
Danny, yeah, and,
right.
and Danny LaRusso is a very sort of local celebrity. He's got his own car dealership, and he offers a free bonsai tree with every purchase. And then Jonny Lawrence is...
Yeah, that'd make you go and spend several £1,000, wouldn't it? Getting a £3 tree.
And all of his adverts are based around karate, and Jonny Lawrence hates him. So it is fun, the TV show. More fun than rewatching this again, I would say.
Why don't you suggest we do that then?
What, Cobra Kai?
Yeah, why don't you suggest we do something that's fun instead of making me sit through
people like
over
this.
2 hours of this again?
Oh, because Cobra Kai
and ruin all those memories of my childhood.
Cobra Kai is 4 seasons long now, I think, at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit and watch all of those though last night.
Yeah.
I just stayed up last night and I still didn't finish this film.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
If you're interested in watching The Karate Kid or Cobra Kai, they're all both on Netflix. So if you've got a Netflix subscription, they are on there for you to peruse at your leisure.
Or leisure, depending on where you're from.
Yes. And without further ado, we now crack on to Ken B. Wild's film pitch.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And as customary, we go through the exact same film, but with slightly different nuances. My film is called Kung Fu COCKNEY. Yeah.
Okay.
Starring some kid from EastEnders. I can't think of any English child actors at the moment.
Danny Dyer.
Yep, he'll do. Yep. So Danny Dyer as a child.
Okay.
Well, it worked for Ralph. He wasn't a kid, was he?
22. Yeah.
Okay. I've also got an English woman. I haven't got. That's going to be his mum, so it needs to be older than Danny Dyer.
Right. Yeah. The one that plays that black-haired one. That's a bit of a chav. I don't know what her name is.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know EastEnders that well.
Thanks for joining in. How about Lena Headey? Is she Headley?
I
Lena.
think she's probably the same age as Danny Dyer, isn't she?
Yeah, but Danny Dyer's not a kid. I need a child. The child has to be the main character.
I don't know any.
You've given me Danny Dyer as a ridiculous suggestion for a child, haven't you? When I mentioned EastEnders, you shouldn't have immediately focused on any character from EastEnders.
Okay, so some Cockney kid from...
Yeah.
what about Daniel Radcliffe? Is he Cockney? He's English.
He can be, can't he?
Yeah.
He's not a child, though, is he, anymore?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, okay, right, we'll have him then.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel Radcliffe is a child. English female woman.
Danny Dyer.
His daughter.
His daughter, yeah.
Okay, so she's involved. She's Daniel Radcliffe's mom.
Right.
Who leave London to go and live in South Central Los Angeles due to some financial thing that we're unaware of.
They can fly for 12 hours.
Yeah, but that's it. They spent all their money on the flight. When they get there, they're entirely reliant on their granddad,
Right.
played by Dave Lee.
Oh, I think I heard Dick Van Dyke.
No.
With his Cockney accent.
Dick Van Dyke, he was going to be in there, but I think he's died.
I think he's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Dick Van died.
Dave Lee in his Batman outfit.
Yep, he's got his ponytail. He's living out there. Jaden Smith, was he in the reboot of The Karate Kid?
Okay, yeah.
Was he? Oh.
I'm not sure. It's one of the Smith kids, yeah.
I think it's whichever kid's in the that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was this a sequel?
No. He's back. He's the bad guy in this.
Okay.
So it's kind of a nod towards it, but it's got nothing to do with it because
it's Cockney. Because
the production company wouldn't allow it. So it's totally independent. Yeah, he's the bad guy. He's in a gang in South Central Los Angeles. And it basically, rather than it just being a karate tournament, it's a street fight at the end.
Oh, like Rocky V.
Kind of, yeah.
As a highlight of the series,
we've got a girl interest, some Asian girl,
yeah,
from Maze Runner. I looked it up trying to find the name of an Asian actress. And,
what about Bailing?
Lots of them were in Maze Runner.
Right.
So I've just put Maze.
Oh, I tell you what, the girl from Scott Pilgrim. That's who we go with.
Okay then. So she's the girl. She's the love interest for who's the kid? Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah. That's it. Same plot.
What's it called?
Daniel Kung Fu Cockney. Daniel Radcliffe comes in. He's a I don't want to be here. Call blimey, governor. Who's the mum? Gosh,
Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer. So shut it.
Shut it, you tart.
Shut it, you slag.
Yeah.
We're here. We're making the most of it. Dave Lee's the granddad who's got to train Daniel Radcliffe in the martial arts.
You want to see one of my special kicks?
Because he wants to see some of his special kicks. Jaden Smith is the bad guy. Not really bad, but just kind of like, keeps provoking Daniel Radcliffe to say, why are you at my school? You're twice my age.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is fair. Who's the girlfriend again? Sorry, I'm sure.
Knives Chow from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, you said it? Oh, is it? Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So Scott Pilgrim's the girlfriend. I'm not writing that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the end is a street fight. If Daniel Radcliffe wins, then the gang leave him alone. If he loses, Jaden Smith will gut him like a fish on the streets and then hang him from a bridge.
What's the name of Daniel Radcliffe's character in this? Because you got Danny LaRusso. It's a pretty cool 80s name.
Chase Ryder.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his mom?
Karen
Ryder.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know where I got Chase Ryder from?
No.
It's a bus that goes past my house. I keep seeing it and I keep thinking that would be a good name for a character, Chase Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it goes through Cannock Chase. So it's
Right.
called the Chase Rider.
Nice. It sounds like an Old West fucking stagecoach.
Yeah. Well, that's his name anyway. That's Radcliffe's character, Chase Rider.
Who's the trainer for Jaden Smith?
Carl Weathers. What sort of a question is that? It's Carl Weathers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he just called Carl Weathers?
Of course he is, yeah.
What's his dojo called?
Sensei Carl Weathers.
Sensei Weathers.
Yeah. What's funny about that?
Oh, God. What's his dojo called? Because you got Cobra Kai is pretty cool.
It's just called Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers Dojo.
It's called Stormy Weathers. Yeah. Stormy Weathers Dojo. Yeah?
Yeah.
You having that?
I'm having it, yeah.
Okay, and that's it. That's the plot. It's the same plot. Exactly the same as Karate Kid. But Kung Fu Cockney. I did actually call it Kung Fu Cockney Kid. But I thought that's too long.
Yeah.
So I cut that out. Kung Fu Kid's stupid. Kung Fu Cockney. Yeah, niche audience.
I think anyone in the hunt for Cockney gangster films or anything like that, if they couldn't find the most recent Danny Dyer film, they're gonna watch his daughter.
If they look up Dyer, exactly, yeah, you've got the connection.
They're gonna watch his daughter train Daniel Radcliffe at Kung Fu.
She's not training them.
They're gonna watch.
It's Dave Lee.
You're gonna watch Dave Lee,
doing his special kicks,
famous for being Batman's stunt double. Training Harry Potter on how to be a karate expert.
How to beat up Will Smith's son. That's it. As I say, it's not much of a plot.
No.
It's just the same plot.
Have you got a tagline?
Oh, what did you say it should be?
No sensei.
No mercy.
No mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just got his granddad.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, that's in brackets. I've just got my granddad.
All right, son. Oh, son, you're all right, are you? That's
I
what
like
he says when he turns up.
I like the poster to be Daniel Radcliffe and Dave Lee back to back, staring at the camera.
Yeah, and Dave Lee's holding his gi like some sort of cool blimey governor.
Yeah, and
character.
Dave Lee's ponytail's draped over Daniel Radcliffe's face.
Yeah. Why wouldn't your granddad do that?
It's a
every photograph.
It's an old Cockney tradition. You not heard of it?
What's it called?
It's called the Cockney tail.
The tail draper.
Yeah,
that's what he used to be known as when he was fighting.
It's called Granddad. It's called Granddad's ponytail.
Granddad's tail. Don't look at Granddad's tail.
It's called Hide Behind Granddad's Tail.
Don't touch Granddad's tail.
That's more of a warning. And on that, then, let's bring this podcast to a close.
Please.
Thank you for joining us and listening to our review of Karate Kid. We're sorry it wasn't more positive, but
it's probably still good. I don't know. Maybe we've changed.
Yeah, maybe life has changed us.
Maybe it's us.
Maybe just kids doing karate isn't enough for us nowadays.
Maybe we need them to blade up or just actually shoot each other.
Yeah, maybe. I will say thank you again to my co-host Ken B. Wild.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Karate Kid, and thanks for the pitch.
No worries.
We are on social media wherever you
can find it.
Wherever you can find us.
Wherever you can see it.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Where else are we? Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Bad Movie Cult. Just search us. Join the Facebook group. The podcast, if you leave a 5-star review if you'd like. If you enjoy what you're listening to, it helps keep the podcast running. Follow, subscribe, wherever you can. We are available wherever you get your podcasts. And I think all that's left to say is thank you, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, of course we will. Yeah.
Thank you, Kenneth San.
And she says you don't have to be, you don't have to avoid them. And he says, get off my ass.